All right. Well, welcome everybody to our April Austin Tug. My name is Chris Monahan. I'll be your MC today. Thank you all for joining today. I know we had a little rescheduling last week, but I appreciate all of you guys remembering that we had our event today. So welcome. We have a big event planned for you today. We got a great speaker. So let's just go ahead and get started. As always, I like to thank everyone that is on our Tableau User Group Advisory Council. These are all the folks that help put together this event every single month. They meet twice a month, and they do everything from scheduling the speakers to putting together the logistics for the events, doing our in-person events. So all this planning goes on in the background, and none of it could have been done without these lovely folks. So again, a big thank you to all these folks that help put this on every month. If you are interested in joining our tug, we always get new members. Please reach out to one of us. My contact information is here as well. We need folks that like doing marketing, event planning, or just really good at social media. So if you have any of those skill sets or just want to join a fun group and want to help give some input to our events, please reach out to myself or someone on the advisory council. So with that, let's talk about our agenda today. So I'm going to open up with a little bit of announcements, and then we'll talk a little bit about some general housekeeping information. And then we have our featured speaker, Adam Mico, who is the Principal Data Visualization and Enablement and Fluency. That's a long title at Moderna. And if you guys aren't familiar, he spoke with us last year, gave an awesome presentation. So we asked for him to come back, and for his encore, he's going to do a presentation around custom GPTs and how we can use that to accelerate Tableau and data visualizations. So it's really cool. I've seen the presentation. You guys are really going to enjoy it. And then afterwards, stick around. We're going to do our networking breakout session where we ask anyone anything Tableau. So please stick around for that as well. So as a reminder, this is a live meeting. We do encourage you guys to turn on your camera if you'd like. Do the gallery view. That's the best experience. And by all means, please observe customary Zoom etiquette. So mute if you're not going to speak. We do like you guys to participate, though. So please put any questions you have or just any call outs in the chat window. If you have any specific questions for our speaker, please go ahead and DM myself, or you can also DM, Homer's not here today, so you can DM James as well, and we'll go ahead and get those questions in the queue. Also, just as a reminder, we have our own YouTube channel. It's the Austin Tableau User Group on YouTube. We will post this recording on our YouTube channel, and you can catch out all the back recordings as well. So just some general housekeeping announcements. We have some upcoming tugs. We have our May tug on May 9th, and that's right after TC. So we're going to do one presentation on 8 ways to elevate your text tables, which is a very interesting presentation. And then after that, we're going to do a TC recap like we do every year. And that's in case you guys didn't get a chance to see TC or just want to know some of the folks on the advisory council, what their thoughts are. Please join that session. In addition, this year, we're also going to open it up to the community. So we want you guys to come off, mute and give some of your input too. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are about some of the exciting stuff you saw at TC. We have our June tug on Thursday, June 13th. And then, as always, we take the month of July off so everyone can go ahead and enjoy their summer break. So TC is right around the corner. It is, coming. We've got 1 week away. So if you have not booked travel plans, you need to really get on it. Airfare is going up, but it is going to be, seriously, it's going to be a great time. A lot of folks, that don't get to go, obviously check it out virtually. The virtual sessions are excellent. So please, please, please sign up for that, register online, and check out all the cool stuff they're going to announce there at the keynote. So, and one last reminder, we have a Slack community. So if you have not joined our Slack community, please reach out to one of us. We'll go ahead and provide you a link so you can go ahead and join. We do a lot of announcements there. We have different topics that you can chat about. So please reach out and we'll add you to our Slack community. So with that, I'd like to introduce our featured speaker, Adam Mico. And again, he is a principal of data visualization, enablement, and fluency at Moderna. He is a 3-time Tableau visionary, 4-time ambassador, and the first Data Fam Golden Hoodie winner. So he's got a lot of accolades. He's going to do an awesome presentation around using custom GPTs to accelerate learning, Tableau, and data visualizations. So with that, Adam, I'll turn it over to you.
And with that, my job title changed again. So thank you so much, Austin, Tug, and Chris for introducing me. Unfortunately, I will not be on camera today just because the internet is I'm on my backup of Wi-Fi right now. So hopefully this sticks out during the presentation. And I thank you so much for being flexible. I was under the weather last week, and fortunately we're back on. So this is going to be covering, as Chris mentioned, using custom GPTs to accelerate learning in Tableau and data visualization. So I'm excited to share how advanced AI tools can significantly enhance our data analytics capabilities. And I had some, with that, pop. So a little bit more about me. My name is Adam Mico. I specialize in data and analytics strategy at Moderna. The title that was shared before changed last week. I'm now Principal Data and Analytics Strategist at Moderna. So basically it encompasses my passion for Tableau, data strategies, as well as generative AI technologies. Also, having been honored as a Tableau Visionary Ambassador, I love to further push the technology to explore how AI can transform our approach to data. So today we'll journey through evolving landscape of data analytics and delve into GPT technology and explore custom GPTs that I've developed specifically for enhancing our work with Tableau and data. So we'll conclude with a look at what the future holds for AI in our field, and also kind of begin with that. The agenda covers what I believe to be the future ACE role of data analytics, GPT basics, my custom GPTs, and of course some demos. And I'm going to ask for some participation in those demos. And finally, what's next? So to begin, let's cover my thoughts on the future quote unquote ACE role of data analytics. So I came from this as well, so I have a little bit of experience in this regard. So how I began with data analytics is that I was a subject matter expert. And based on what I'm seeing now and how companies are functioning and how they could be leveraging AI, I think that's going to be the ACE role that's going to be involved with a lot of great data and analytics work. And that basically means that the SMEs that are subject matter experts have really good domain knowledge. So they really understand what the data is. They can do more self-service and work toward a domain-driven, domain-driven knowledge to really enhance the experience of data and analytics. I also sense that there's going to be a bit of a data evolution. So the integration of subject matter experts into data roles signifies a future where insight and understanding will drive analytics, emphasizing products that resonate with users. Next up, adaptability is key. So what I see is going to happen to all of us in regard to generative AI and AI in general is that our roles are going to evolve. So we're going to have to be more flexible as our tasks will be more diverse. There's going to be more of an emphasis on the generalist approach and learning as much as you possibly can and helping support in other key areas where AI isn't appropriate to help in that regard. And the other thing too is if you learn the skills to work with AI and so forth, you could kind of stand apart. A lot of people are a little bit afraid to work with AI, are afraid of the impact that it has on them. But if you realize how to use it and make it work for you, that will give you a really great opportunity to stand apart from people in your field. So now to the basics of GPT, and I call this like the 10,000 foot introduction to GPTs. So GPTs are generative pre-trained transformers, represent a breakthrough in AI capable of generating human-like text. They open new doors for applications ranging from conversational agents to content creation. So I'll introduce the concepts of custom GPTs in a little bit later. However, we're just going to talk about just the very basics. So GPTs I would consider is a revolutionary class of AI models capable of understanding and generating text like a human can. So this opens new frontiers where AI is not just for the coders, it's for everybody. So it really helps you bridge gaps that you would normally have with others because you don't have that barrier of code. Diverse applications. So from conversational agents to content creations, GPTs offer versatile solutions across industries, and it enhances creativity and efficiency as well. So in custom GPTs or tailored GPTs to serve specific domains, such as data analysis, mock data set generation, visualization critique, and other specialized assistance. And this is just coming from the GPTs I built, but there's limitless possibilities as far as what custom GPTs are. And custom GPTs will in fact be our focus today. So talking a little bit about ChatGPT. So ChatGPT really stands out. It offers versatility across so many different topics and settings. So you can get anything that you would want to know about, including customer service, education, or just somebody to talk to that's like a human-like voice. So it has a really good conversational model, and it's really designed to simulate that human-like interaction that you have. So you could talk very casually, just like you would with anyone else. And the other great thing about it is that it's not AI conversational just for people that speak English. It really has a strong language engine that can really communicate in pretty much any language you could think of. So there are versatile interactions as well. So it's capable of handling a broad spectrum of topics, from casual dialogues to complex subject matter discussions. And it provides a lot of insight and coherent responses, where it's actually quite alarming when you first work with it. The other part of it is continuous learning. So it involves with ongoing interactions, and it improves its understanding with responses over time because people provide feedback to the product, and that feedback helps that product get better. Beyond that, the models on the back end and the knowledge that they're porting in on the back end is more significant and better focused to provide the information that you need. And then there's application diversity. So that empowers applications in pretty much any field that you could consider. You could also work on the content creation and have different little products where you could showcase flexibility and utility across one or many domains. So going a step further, we're going into custom GPTs. And those are the next step in personalizing AI technology. So how I like to think of them is that when you have ChatGPT, that's a big general tool. It has all the information in the world, but poured in together so things get hazy, it can hallucinate, and there's a lot of things that could happen because there's just too much information in them. So the custom GPTs are really good for when you're building for information that provides a really good personalized use case. So you want to serve specific industries, provide specific knowledge without the haze of all the knowledge in the world or in the internet. These are really good. So it also provides a lot of specialized knowledge. So for example, if you're going into the general ChatGPT and you're looking at it, what you're looking at oftentimes is it's pulling, if you're asking a question about Tableau, it may confuse Tableau with Power BI. It may confuse it with SQL. It can confuse it with even some other type of code or other type of guidance. Also, it pulls information from who knows what. So you want to make sure that if you're building a GPT or working with the GPT that's specialized, that it really has that really strong domain knowledge. Also, the interactions are really good when you have a good GPT that is custom and specialized because you don't have to provide as much context. and it really understands what you're trying to go for a lot easier than you would if you're working with the standard GPT. And with it, you could provide a lot more diverse applications for data. So it's not only its knowledge base that it's covering in personalized GPT, but any knowledge that you put into it. And you could put in a ton of knowledge for the instructions when building a GPT. So there's a lot of things that you could do to really amp up its impact and provide a really great holistic experience for a user that it specializes in. So let's talk briefly and demo my 4 custom GPTs, and they're primed for Tableau and data analytics. So data Mockstar. So I consider this GPT-1, although this was not the first one I built. This was I think it was the third one of the 4 that I'm going to talk to you about today. But this is the first for our little Tableau and data visualization journey. So with the Tableau and our data visualization journey here, you need to build the data to create something with it. So a data Mockstar, I really work on having it create a data set about pretty much anything that you could have under the sun, any thoughts that you would have. So for input processing, it processes natural language. It looks for data set characteristics, and it really, the instructions are put together so it ensures data integrity and a good user experience. The other part is the mock data set generation. So it generates data sets reflecting user specifications with relevant column names, data types, and fictional data. It also has a lot of data variety and realism. It's trained to work with the user to help define what criteria you want. You can make the data as dirty as you want. You could add as many fields as you want, and it's going to generate something pretty interesting for you. And output formatting and delivery. So most often it's going to come out as a CSV. First of all, it's the easiest for it to produce, and it's the most wide-ranging item that you could work with when you're working with data, because a CSV could pretty much go in any data tool. But you could also have it export in code, also in a number of different formats, including Excel. And one thing I focus on too is continuous enhancement. So I'm always going to look for ways to enhance this experience and make it even better for users. Based on feedback that the community has provided, I've made a number of additional updates to this data Mockstar. So if anybody has an idea for a data set, feel free to drop in a chat and we could demo this right now.
Anybody?
Okay.
All right. Anybody got any good ones?
So I'll go and
U.S. school locations. That's what we said.
Excuse me?
U.S. school locations. We have horse racing, Kentucky Derby winners.
Oh, that might be an easier one for it to put together. That's a really good use case. So we didn't talk about this beforehand, so I have no idea how this is going to work out. So this is my data Mockstar. Of course, you can only access this if you have access to ChatGPT Plus, but here is an example. So we want Derby winners with, okay, let's get stats for Kentucky Derby. So I'm going very casual. So now what it's doing is it's looking at what would make sense for this type of data set. So it's actually building you a very brief version of a data dictionary right before your eyes. So here are reasonable ones. So year, winner, jockey, trainer, owner, winning time, margin, and starting odds. So I think this looks pretty good to me, but please mind that these are all mock data. So I'll say Yes, this looks good. So the jockeys, the trainers, the horses, they're probably not going to be accurate at all, and that's the intent of it, because it's giving you an opportunity to work with mock data. So now it's running its code to generate this mock data set. And this is done because of the instructions that I put into this GPT and how to analyze it and how to work with it so it works in a level that works well with data visualization. So now it's going through and analyzing everything here. It's pulling up 1,000 rows. Trust me, this is the longest one, so I apologize about the pause right now. Live demo, and it's probably partially due to my mediocre internet at this point. So it's going through this, creating all these 1,000 rows here, looking at all these items that was covered up here. So now it's analyzing. So it has the first 5 rows. And I think, unfortunately, ChatGPT is a little bit slower right now for some reason. So they're giving us the times, the winner, and everything looks good. So I want to create this mock data set. Looks great. So now it's doing its analyzing at this point, and it's going to pull all of this data into 1,000 rows and pull it out in the CSV. And that's its final output. And this took all of what, 2 minutes with a slower time right now for ChatGPT. So all I have to do is click this and it comes out with the CSV with all the information that I want. And right here, you have your data set. So this is a great one to start the journey. But now we want to, any questions about this before we move on to the next GPT? Okay.
I don't see any right now, but we'll field them at the end.
Sounds good. So next up is tData Doctor. So this is basically a guide that helps you anything related to Tableau. So in this particular use case, what I did is I included all the instructions from Tableau's help articles relating to Tableau Server, Tableau Cloud, Tableau Desktop, and Tableau Prep. So there's 12,000 plus pages of PDF files that covers everything that a general developer would have questions on when they're working with Tableau. So what this offers, besides another GPT that you could work on, is it provides an expert level advice on pretty much anything that you could think of Tableau. It's focused on solutions. So it's delivering accurate and contextually relevant recommendations to enhance user proficiency in Tableau. So if you went to ChatGPT by itself, it's going to get confused if you ask it Tableau questions, especially if it's looking at everything in the world on the internet and it's not using the official documentation. The other thing too is that when you utilize the help, the actual documentation that comes from Tableau itself, you are really having access to what everybody would look at. Everything is vetted, and you don't have noise from blogs that may pull or a LinkedIn post from somebody that has no idea how to use Tableau. It's all there. Search and guidance policy. So everything is really curated. So I make sure that these are updated quarterly or when there are releases in product. And that's the important thing, is that you don't want old information. Things get outdated very quickly, especially in the world of data visualization, especially as we're leveraging AI and so forth. So quickly, we could ask some questions of this. And I have a good, crazy image to show you real quick to see kind of the power of what's going on here. So and I'm going to pull this up in a second. Oh. So in this particular case, I have a calculation that's an error. So it's just, I am trying to get profit. Oh, but it is broken. And literally what I did is I took a screen print of a broken calculation, as you can see right here. So right now what it's doing is it's going through the information, providing the updated code that will work with it. And all you have to do is copy the code, place it in your profit ratio calculation, you're good to go. So for those that had so many frustrations, and me included, working with calculations or whatnot, this is kind of a great thing to work with, because not only does it see what's going on and understands the language that you provide, its visual analytics skills are just so great. So let's see another question one may have of the all-knowing tData doctor. And I'll just go ahead and take a look here. So, oh, 1 second. How do you create a sheet swap parameter? So if you ask this of general GPT would have no idea what you're asking it, just because it doesn't know what tool you're referencing. It doesn't have the context of the knowledge that's focused exclusively on Tableau. So now it's going through creating an entire tutorial based on its knowledge and how to create a sheet swap parameter. Good. It's telling you how to do the filters and all that stuff. So, I mean, the capabilities that you have here to save time and help people have a frictionless approach to troubleshooting certain things and learning about Tableau is something that I'm so thankful for, because there are so many times I would have liked to get an answer on something related to Tableau that was accurate and not have to bother anybody for that. In this particular case, you're not bothering anyone except this GPT tool. So next up, let's pull this. We have a really fun one. So this is called VizCritique Pro. So basically what it does, because I learned really quickly when working on building GPTs that the visual analytics of ChatGPT 4 is so great that I wondered how we could put it together to create something that could provide you really good feedback on a data visualization. So when I built this VizCritique Pro, I'm applying the visual analytics that Tableau has on their Tableau blueprint, and adding a couple things that I do specifically. But basically, all you have to do to get really good feedback on a data visualization is post a screenshot and let it go and review the visualization. Also, the other thing too with VizCritique Pro is that you could provide as much context as you would want.
Hello?
You could provide as much context as you want, and that context will be used to score and provide feedback on your data visualization. So but it won't amp up your score just because you asked it to. So it looks at scoring the data visualization, which is kind of a fun part of it. The other part to it, it provides really good feedback, but you do have options if you don't want to score something. So just so I don't put other people on the spot, I'm going to pull together one of my vizzes that I worked on when I was working with a different company, and a couple ones that I had for my profile as well. So you could ask it how to get started. What is the scoring breakdown? Can you score my viz? Can you provide feedback without scoring? I'm going to be bold and I'll just push my viz through here and see what happens here. So I'll go ahead. And all I'm going to do in this case is I'm not going to provide any context whatsoever. I'm just going to load an image. And what it will do right away is get to work. And you can see it already can tell that this is a dashboard for paid media analysis. I didn't put any context here. So it goes through basically what you would go through if you're providing really good professional level feedback. So it looks at things that you're doing, provides a score. Again, you could ask it not to score for you. And it also provides really good information on how you could potentially improve and what are some of the highlights that you're working with. So it goes through the list and the feedback is pretty consistent each time. It looks at all these things when reviewing your data visualization. And for fun, I have an aesthetic boost if they think the visualization looks pretty. Which is good because when you're looking at a visualization, the first impression is usually that aesthetic boost, which should be given a little bit of favor, especially if the intent of the visualization is for a portfolio or really to impress somebody on its aesthetics. So not only does it provide the overall impressions, the final score, what that score means, it provides actionable recommendations based on what it sees when it's looking at everything here. It's a really fun tool, and I would really advise people to work with that, especially since one of the biggest questions that comes through the community is feedback. How do I get feedback? How do I get trusted feedback? And do I get to provide that feedback without either being embarrassed by it or bothering anyone? So this is completely frictionless. And I did add that additional feature to not score because I don't want people to be off-put by the score and not really get the information as far as what those recommendations are and be able to look at that and focus on the recommendations to improve a data visualization. So next up, in the final GPT, and the last one of this particular journey, is T-Blueprint Navigator. So basically, this is more of a niche one I would consider. So when you're working in a center of excellence or a center of enablement, or trying to build a culture of Tableau and data visualization at your workplace or for somebody else's workplace, if you're a consultant, you generally work and quote unquote consult with the Blueprint, Tableau Blueprint, which is a course as well as training material to really help get your team focused on getting the best out of your community and data visualization as well. So it provides more information about that, offers interactive learning, and one of its best pieces in T-Blueprint is its capabilities of really providing specified guidance and additional features like visual analytics and best practices for visual analytics. So let me pull something here. So one of the things I could ask, oh, sorry about that. I'll just pull that over here. So one of the things I could ask about that is, so how do you put together a champions team? So if you ask this in ChatGPT, it would have no idea what the heck you're talking about. But fortunately here, since it's covering this and it's covered in the customer success information, is that it will provide a really good roadmap for you to get started on considering what needs to be applied to build a champions team in your community. So it's going down the list and it's providing a lot of feedback here. And you could then ask it additional questions to help provide examples of each of these, just as if you're talking to a person that happen to be an expert in customer success, especially as it relates to data visualization and Tableau. So what's next for us? So I think when we're looking at the future of AI, there's going to be advancements that are coming at such a rapid pace. The GPTs that are being built, custom ones, and ChatGPT in general, they're remarkable. And how we went from 0 to 100,000 is unreal. I could only see it getting faster and more improved each run. So it's going to even be better with specialized assistants. So things that you'll be able to do and things that you'll be able to get from data will be more real time, as they're incorporating more with custom actions and a lot more capabilities for people that are developing GPTs. There's going to be the future of AI customization. I'm looking at the development of very specialized GPTs, and you kind of treat them as little products where people can get real good at something really fast. And there's so many use cases that the opportunities for growth and learning are pretty much endless. And continual improvement, there's going to be always improvement with how things function. The main concern, even with really good GPTs, is the problem with GPT still having some hallucinations. So it does usually apply the instructions that you put down like 90% of the time. But there's that 10% or even 5% of the time that it's not really adhering to those instructions. That's the scary thing to a lot of people, but I know that will be improved in future rounds. Even with specialized custom GPTs, there's going to be times where it's going to hallucinate a little bit. And everything with those GPTs and how you work with them and how easily they're accessible to you in the actual today's day and age and tomorrow's day and age as well is going to be tremendous. So this is something I'm really looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to see what advancements are and how people are using them to really extend their knowledge and really get things done at more efficient pace, because they don't have to worry about the barriers that are blocking them from getting answers and getting results. And thank you so much. Any questions?
Well, thanks, Adam. Yeah, no, I think there were questions. I think a lot of the questions, if you don't mind walking through it just one more time for each one of your GPTs, what did you use to train them?
So with all of my GPTs, so let me just pull. So with Tableau Blueprint Navigator, I used their help article for this and a bunch of custom instructions that I wrote. So I probably wrote about, fortunately, you have up to about 1,200 words of custom or 8,000 characters of custom instructions that you could add to tell it how to operate and how to work for you. Utilizing that and the knowledge from this, I'm able to put this together where it really adheres to that and treats you like a customer success manager would work with you when you're working with Tableau. For VizCritique Pro, there is absolutely no knowledge. So I didn't load any documents into this. It's literally 7,996 characters of instructions or coding, if you will, for this to adhere, create a weighted scoring system, understand what scoring means, understanding what is a good viz, understanding what's not a good viz, and what to look at and how to respond. So sample responses, that's something that I consider pretty important when it's relevant. So I want the responses to be pretty much the same as far as the format and how it functions each time somebody works with it, just so it's easier to work with. It's more accurate in how it assesses things, and also does that. The other thing too is for the data mockstar. That's all instructions. There are no knowledge in there, information in there. I think that's about 7,400 characters of text, or about 1,000 words of instructions for that one to generate that. But a secret is I have it look at Kaggle's and how it formats really good data sets there, and apply that formatting as the basis for how it puts out the CSV output for anything that's being requested for there. And yeah, and as mentioned earlier, the what you call it, the tData Doctor includes a little over 12,000 pages of Tableau help documentation, and probably about 600 or 700 words of instructions to get it to operate exactly the way it should operate.
Okay, nothing from communities. That was one of the questions someone asked.
I wouldn't use anything from communities because I want to make sure that the information is vetted, and there's no noise, because even though the community content is good, they may say something very similar, which will confuse the response of the GPT. And this is something I did test quite a bit. In fact, I put some of my stuff initially when I built it, but I didn't like how it was kind of confusing responses and hallucinating a little bit more. So if you really have a focused and specialized GPT focusing on something very clear, and there's really no overlap in content, it's going to work much more effectively.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Do you have any other questions from the group here?
When updates are made to the Tableau documentation for like how-tos and such, does that update the tData Doctor?
So I could have it do it automatically using actions, but I want to vet and have it update consistently at the same time, so I could prepare for any changes in how it works and reacts, so I could test it together. I don't want it to automatically pull something and I don't test for it and account for it in my instructions. So when I do that, the purpose of me doing it manually is so I have more control in how it responds, and I can update the instructions in near real time. Whereas if I don't know anything's been updated, I can't apply the appropriate updates to the instructions for the GPT when appropriate. Great question, though.
Good question.
Right. So if there's, say, 20 documents that have been updated, you'll get notified of those 20 and then go through them and make sure everything looks right.
So what I would do is I would pull so in that particular one, I believe 2, 3, 4, 5. I only have 5 documents in that one. You can max out at 20, but I recommend very strongly to reduce the number of documents that one would have in knowledge, just because the more documents that you include in the knowledge when building a GPT, what happens is that it either hyper focuses on documents that it shouldn't hyper focus on, or it gets a little bit muddled in its responses and it doesn't really apply everything as it should. That's kind of what I've noticed, where the effective responses are best if you don't have any actual knowledge and include everything in your instructions. But if you can't do that and include knowledge, you want to make sure it's in as few documents as possible.
All right, great question.
Yeah, hey, Adam, this is Becker. We met a couple years ago at Tableau conference, but I don't know if you remember me, but it's great hearing from you again and seeing you again. I was actually interested in, not specifically related to the custom Tableau GPTs or the custom GPTs that you built, but and if people have questions about the specific GPTs, please skip over me to answer them. But I was interested in maybe how you use generative AI generally in your work, not necessarily related to the custom GPTs and your kind of workflows and day-to-day. And love to hear a little bit more about that.
So I can't really talk specifically about work, but what I can say is I build a lot of GPTs at work and utilize them and want to share what I can share with the community by building versions of those GPTs, but publicly available versions. So we do use that quite a bit, and it's it's a passion of mine too, because of advancements and capabilities of the tool and working with others and being able to see products in work and sharing with like-minded people that really have great ideas on how to make the best of custom GPTs. So basically, anything out there that I share publicly, it oftentimes is just a public version of what I do for work. So everything here is a version I've already done at work.
That's cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you, Becker, for coming off mute. That's awesome. Anybody else want to share a few words or have a question? James, anything?
I've got one for me.
All right, go ahead.
Roughly how long did it take you to create each of these?
Oh. So I've been learning how to build GPTs and working with this technology for a while. What I could share is this VizCritique Pro was by far the longest. The reason is because to build this one from scratch, the initial run would probably be about 3 to 4 hours for me, but if you have no experience, it would take longer. However, I spent pretty much an entire weekend testing, vetting, getting feedback, and incorporating all that into it. So I tested probably about 200 data visualizations, updated the weight of what's being scored, how it's scored, and what criteria is being scored. So that was the one that took me the longest, because with ones that you don't have knowledge for, oftentimes you're spending a lot of time working and testing it out and improving it on the back end so it reacts the way that you want. So generally, you don't make a GPT and set it and forget it. You have to test it, work on it quite a bit. But yeah, this was by far the longest. I probably spent, not including my work one is different, but this is just unique to this one. On this particular one, I spent at least 20 to 24 hours of pure work working on this and making sure everything lines up to where I would expect it. I'm happy with its output and that it's consistent. So great question.
Yeah, great question. Any other ones, James, from the group?
I don't see any.
Okay.
Are you sticking around for the Ask Me Anything Tableau? Because I could use Tableau Doctor for that, or tDoctor.
Yeah, we could yeah, ask anyone anything Tableau. We'll have to use your custom GPT for that. That'd be cool. Well, Adam, thank you very much. This has been fascinating. I mean, it's just really cool stuff you're doing. If you guys definitely want to check it out, I've got the links. I'll share in the presentation or on the video. You can go ahead and check out Adam's LinkedIn, and of course, he has the GPTs as well. You saw the QR codes there, so check that out. Everyone, give Adam a virtual round of applause. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for coming again, and
of course,
we'll have you back maybe sooner than we won't wait a year next time. How about that?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much for having me. It was so great to be here and introducing this chat for the Tableau universe. So bye, everyone, and have a great conference. Make sure to bump into me if you see me at the conference. I'll have stickers to hand out, including 50 each of those 4 GPTs.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, you heard it. Yeah, if you want a free sticker and you want to just chat with Adam, hit him up over at TC. So thanks, Adam, again. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. Have a good one.
All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Give me 1 second here. There we go. All right. So yeah, that was a fascinating presentation. That was really great. And again, Adam's done some amazing work. If you want to go see him, please ping him over at TC. Now we have my favorite part is just sort of our Ask Anyone Anything Tableau session. We are going to go ahead. We used to do breakout rooms, but this time we're going to go ahead and stay right here. So everyone else, if you don't want to participate in this, you're free to drop. That's the end of our Tableau user group. We do hope to see you next time. So we will see you in May. So please join us again. We'll have invites go out. But for the rest of you that would like to participate in our breakout session, please hang on for just 1 minute and we'll get started.